Yo, coming to you live from World Championship in San Jose. Welcome to the Living Legends podcast.
I think that just the manic energy that he brings into his roles is actually like really different. Like he doesn't feel like a cookie cutter actor. Like,
oh no. Nick Cage is one of those actors who can be in like some of the best movies and then also in some of the absolute worst. Like he's got a range, but not but not in the typical sense that people are like, oh, he's got a lot of acting range. It's like, oh, he can be in something like Matchstick Men, which is like fantastic, and then he can also be in something like, I don't know, Ghost Rider. Like
Ghost Rider or The Wicker Man with the bees.
That's the famous one, yeah. Not the bees.
That's the only scene that people remember from that movie.
But yeah, I do really like Nick Cage. So whenever he pops up in movies, I'm like, oh, this could be fun. Yeah. I mean, it might be terrible, but I mean, it could also just be a lot of fun.
But it's just Nick Cage. I'll accept it.
It's just Nick Cage being Nick Cage.
Well, see, what Nick Cage does is he makes movies watchable that would otherwise not be watchable, in my opinion. And that is the biggest failure for a movie. As someone who has a film degree and I've spoken and written a bunch about movies, I think the biggest failing of a movie is having it be boring, right? A movie can be like technically awful. But if it's like fun to watch or interesting, I would consider that a success, which is why I think, no joke, I think like the Fast and the Furious movies, even though they're like not high art, they're not good in the traditional sense, like they're entertaining garbage, and they succeed because of that, and they have like 1 million sequels. To be fair, I've only seen like 2 of them, but still, like that's the example. That's the example that I like to use. And one of the 2 that I've seen has nothing to do with any of the other ones. It was Tokyo Drift, which has nothing. I don't think it has anything to do with any of the other movies.
There was something that Elliot showed me one time, and it was like, I just watched the most recent Fast and the Furious movie. I'm going to tell you 3 things, and you have to 3 things about the movie, and you have to tell me which one is the lie. And I can't remember all 3 of them, but it was like Ludacris goes to space in like a 1980s like hatchback. Vin Diesel's character rips out concrete supports while he's fighting some guys in a parking garage, causing the roof of the parking garage to collapse onto them, killing all of them except for him. And then like a third equally ridiculous thing. And it's like, here's the secret. All of that happened. None of it is a lie.
Wow.
This is how much of a weeb I am. I'm like, oh, that's the scene from Yu Yu Hakusho when he fights Toguro in the parking garage, and Toguro just rips it down.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to yet another episode of the Living Legends podcast. I am Bill from the Spike Feeders. I am the host of this episode, and joining me, as always, are my lovely co-hosts. First up, we have Az from Go Again Gaming.
Hello, how's it going, everyone out there, wherever you might be watching this? Hope you're having a great day. And it's just going to be spitballing today, isn't it? A bit of just chat between friends.
There's not much going on right now in the Flesh and Blood world. We're kind of in between things, so so it's going to be an interesting one. But as well, to round out the trio of us, we also have Kel, also known as Red Zone Rogue.
Hello.
For me down here, I don't know if that's how it is, but
this video will be unlike normal videos where we're yelling at enemies instead of chatting with friends.
Because if there's one thing that we're known for, it's being really, really aggressive towards each other at all times.
Absolutely belligerent, just constant.
Constant abuse.
Yeah, we just don't get along. It's tense the entire time.
You just force the episodes every week just for actual views and content and monetary gain.
Yeah, but I mean, Bill's right though. It's like the holiday season, right? So like, it's kind of slow. There's like some holiday events going on. There's I do want to have another guest on, hopefully this month. I still need to ask him when. I've talked to Az and I talked to Sam Yang at Worlds, and I've asked him a couple times, and I was like, hey man, do you want to come on our podcast sometime? He's like, yeah. So Sam is down for being on the podcast at some point. So hopefully sometime in the next couple of weeks. It's notoriously hard to schedule time with Sam Yang. I'll just say, like, he's a really nice dude. But he will admit that he's like not the best at like responding to messages and stuff. So like every time I message Sam, it takes about like a month for him to like get back. He's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I was busy." I'm like, "No, that's okay, man. I know, I know."
People waiting in line to see that man, though, aren't they?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the other guest is a personal friend of mine, the professor from Taylor Community College, who has also agreed to be on the podcast. Basically, he literally said, he told me, he's like, anytime you want, and I'm like, all right, I'll come up. We'll come up with a good time when the time is right. I think the professor is going to be on the Instant Speed podcast soon, so I might want to. We might space it so it's not like too close to that.
Yeah.
And then I guess while I'm just talking about guests, James White is also another one who he's basically agreed to come on at some point. So yeah, those are the three big guests that I kind of have like lined up for the future. You know what? While we're at it, if there's anyone from the Flesh and Blood community, either from LSS or otherwise, that you would like on the podcast, let us know. Like, I would like to know who you want to hear from.
There's going to be there's going to be I've got a spicy idea to throw into the mix, but it's not confirmed. It's not confirmed yet, but it's going to be part of a large marketing campaign for something.
Ooh.
So yeah, I'll throw that in at some stage, but can't mention it right now. That's what I'm going to say.
Well,
oh wait,
color me intrigued.
Yeah.
Does it? Okay, you don't have to answer entirely if you're trying to keep it a secret. Does it have to do with the thing that we talked about with Brian Gottlieb after the show last week?
No, but that could be something else we could throw in here as well.
Okay, well, I'll mention that then. I guess since this is just an episode where we just talked about a lot of random crap. We were talking after the show last week with Brian Gottlieb, and he mentioned that there's like a Discord group for fans of both Metal and Magic the Gathering, and he's like, someone should make that for Flesh and Blood, like a Metal Flesh and Blood Discord group. And Az brought up another thing that I won't mention. Az can mention it if he wants to, but it was sort of related to that. But the Discord group, we should totally do that. Someone get on that. Maybe I'll get on that. Someone get on that. We'll make a Flesh and Blood metal group, so people who are fans of Flesh and Blood and Metal can just talk about Metal or Flesh and Blood.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. It's a nice mixture. There tends to be a lot of people. I don't know why. There tends to be a lot of people that play this game and enjoy this game that also enjoy that sort of thing as well, which is nice.
I have theories on some of that, but maybe it's just talking out of my behind.
talking out of my butt.
Yeah. But I have a good name for the group, the Discord group. It should be called Convulsions from the Bellows of Hell. Like that. That's the name of the group. Yeah.
That is such an easy easy slam dunk of a name.
Yeah. Like if I was gonna do something Flesh and Blood and like Metal related, that would be like the first name I think of.
I also have some theories as to why, and they kind of overlap. I've noticed like most of the people that I know that really like Metal are just like really nice people, and something that I've personally noticed, at least like for the people that I've played Flesh and Blood with, are just genuinely like decent people as well. That might just be like confirmation bias, because I don't know, I surround myself with people that I tend to stand. But
aside from this podcast, of course.
Oh, of course. This is a contractual obligation and nothing else.
Aside from us douches.
But also, I mean, we were talking about this I think last week on the podcast. Like the art in this game is just metal. Like it doesn't hold back. Shred.
Yeah.
Crazy. But yeah, I don't know. Like something about that is so cool because it's not like we're looking at the art and being like, "Oh God, that's so like that's so gruesome." You're looking at it and you're like, "Yeah."
Yeah, like one of the earliest ones that was like super. I don't know why eyes are more visceral for me, but like Snag,
Oh,
the thing in the
oh
it's got the
yeah,
eye on
yeah.
the
yeah. There's
thing.
like a hook.
Oh, it's so
Yeah, that
it's
one's
Really good
brutal.
shout.
I didn't even notice that one for the longest time, and then all of a sudden I looked at the art closer and I was like,
His
"Oh,
eyes.
wow."
Yeah, like in Welcome to Wraith, I mean, there's some pretty brutal art in the first set because there's like a lot of the brute cards just have like random guts and entrails,
Mhm.
like
Well,
Blood Rush Bellow. There's other ones like Massacre, or I like to call it looks like meat's back on the menu, boys. I've made that
Oh, yeah.
I've made that reference for a while, but that's what I used to call that card every time I
I
pull
mean,
it.
even in Welcome to Wraith, there's that one common attack action. I can never remember what it is, but there's like basically like a dartboard style thing. It's just this big circle of like blood spatter because something has been
Yes.
like actually orbital cannoned with a hammer.
Yeah,
Smash
yeah.
Instinct.
Yes,
Yes.
Smash Instinct. Like
I was gonna
Yeah.
say I opened up a foil one on my Smash Instinct. I opened up a foil
it's a nice
one.
one.
You can't see it. You can't see it. But yeah,
Yeah.
he's right. It's like a top down perspective. It's like if you're playing Diablo and you exploded an enemy in Diablo. That's what it looks
yeah,
like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's exactly what it is. Corpse explosion.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
It's like that scene from I'm not sure whether you guys will know it, but the audience probably will. There's a scene in Watchmen when Dr. Manhattan blows up
Oh yeah.
Rorschach at the end, and then
Spoilers.
there's like a panning shot, yeah, and there's just blood all over the floor. That's basically what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
That's-
yeah,
Do
No,
it.
that
film.
metal community would be sweet.
Yeah.
So something that I do want to talk about actually. Speaking of just community in
Yes.
general, I think is something that would be really nice. We were kind of talking about this just like between ourselves, and you had made a post about it, Kel, because we got the Spotify like metrics for the podcast. And I don't know, when I saw that, I was like pretty humbled by it. Like, I don't know. I did want to like specifically say to the people that have stuck with us, or if you're new to it, you're equally as welcome as the people that have been here since day one.
Yeah.
Like we do genuinely enjoy making content that people like resonate with.
Yeah.
And I just think it's really cool that like what was it? We were top 10% followed of like all podcasts question mark, and then top 25% shared.
Yeah, so it was like the wording was weird on it. So it said top 10% followed, which is great. And then it said top 25% shared globally. And the fact that it didn't say globally for the other one made me question the statistic, but I'll take it. I'll take either of them.
Top 10% in the USA or Northern America or whatever is still pretty sick, isn't it?
And
I would say, considering how popular making a podcast is, it's like back in the day when it's like, oh, we should make a band, like we should make a podcast.
Yeah.
I would say that top 10%, even if it was just the US, is still like way better than I thought.
I'm not sure if it's US or not too, because it did also say that we have listeners from 33 different countries, which is awesome. That is 11 different countries for each of us. Hey, we're all from different countries as well. And all of our respective countries, the US, Canada, and the UK, are all represented like in the top, I think 5 it listed, which is awesome. So yeah, we also it doesn't say on the what is it called? Not rewind, but because that's YouTube. In the statistics, the wrapped, yeah. It didn't say.
It's been doing the rounds as well, hasn't it? Yeah. Everyone's wrapped coming up.
Yeah.
Nice.
It didn't say the audience size, but I can tell you from like the back end side of things, we have about 500, give or take 100, average viewers or listeners of the podcast. Viewers are for the videos. Videos are different. Videos average like 1,000 to 3,000 views, but like the audio only version one is what like kind of surprised me quite a bit, because it's not. Personally, it's my first time doing like podcast specific, like an actual just podcast. And I wasn't sure like if people would like latch onto it, how people would like it. But like Bill said, it's like it's a little humbling, and it's awesome because like for any podcast that I would want to do, and I do like the Living Legends, I would want it to be for folks like me when I was working like as a baker and working in other retail where I was able to listen to stuff, and I would basically what would get me through the day is just listening to a bunch of podcasts. Like music is good too, but podcasts for whatever reason help pass the time for me a lot more because I can be engaged with what they're talking about. Traditionally for me, there's I used to listen to Radio Lab, which would just be like a scatter shot of different things, like that have episodes called like Buttons Not Buttons, where they talk about buttons, but like not actual like clothing buttons, just other things that have the word button in it. Which is I don't know. It sounds weird, but it's super interesting. It's just the kind of stuff I like, or like limited resources. I really liked limited resources back when I was into the other card game, as some folks in the Flesh and Blood community call it. But yeah.
So yeah, see, I think we also like seeing like what people had shared and stuff. I think it was CYK Malaysian Lionel. Is that right? So the podcasts that he was listening to were a lot of Flesh and Blood ones, the top 5. We were in there. I think we were number 3, and we were below Arsenal Pass and Instant Speed, which is fair enough. They've been around for a long time. They do some good stuff. But what I liked in it as well was the fact that it was variety content. So obviously, there's people listening to Arsenal Pass for meta and optimal lines of play and stuff. Then we got Instant Speed, who has some fantastic and diverse guests on his show. And then there's us, which is just, we talk about here, there, and everything. It's more like a conversation between 3 friends. There's no sort of optimal lines of play or strategy. Sometimes there might be, sometimes there might not be, but it's just as again, like a scatter shot of all things Flesh and Blood, not just certain focused areas. So I think the fact that we are represented in people's top things is because people like a little bit of everything. So I think we occupy a nice space.
And I'd also like to note that we've only been doing this for like 6 months. So the fact that we made it like into the top, 5, like high ranked in the top 5, a lot of folks list for the entire year, where we've only literally been here for half of it, which is pretty cool. So I don't know. We'll see if we can bump up the rankings next year for a lot of folks.
The common folk are the ones that listen.
That's a good way to instill faith in our audience by calling them the common folk.
We are too.
More referring to myself.
We are too. Though.
Like, because I mean that's something else that I was thinking about. Like, this is also like I'm also thankful for this podcast in general, not just because the metrics are nice, but even if we were only getting 50 views, 10 views an episode, I would still just appreciate it gives me the ability to still interact with this game that I really enjoy. I just like haven't had the ability or like the energy to go out to local events, and it kind of feels bad because I do really, really like this game. Like I promise that I do, especially for all the locals that know me, that, I used to go to a bunch of events and I've been to maybe one in the past 4 months. Like it does kind of pain me to not go. But just life gets in the way sometimes. And being able to still, talk about it and interact with it and people that are also pretty involved in the space as well. Just sort of, keeps me accountable to this game that I very much enjoy.
That's the same with a lot of people as well, right? A lot of people have full-time jobs and stuff going on outside of life. They can't make it to armories, as religiously as Ian Kenderdine from Right Time Gaming does.
8 armories a week.
8 armories a week.
So
I guess again that this podcast and other podcasts like it are good spaces for people to always be engaged every week. We try and do it every week. I think there's been a few times when we've missed it, but yeah, we are trying to do it every week now with different guests if one of us can't make it, like has happened recently. The aforementioned Ian, always there to fill in.
I like to echo Bill's
Yeah.
Bill's sentiments on this too, because like personally,
Mm.
I spend a lot of time just here in my studio, just making content, and a lot of the time it's just me. It's like me and my dog. Like that's who it is. My partner's at work. She works like a normal job.
That's right. Yeah.
And so it's just like me here working on it. I think a lot about Flesh and Blood. I talk a lot about Flesh and Blood, but rarely do I do so with like a lot of other people. And so this podcast is like, for sometimes it's like my weekly like interaction with other people talking about Flesh and Blood. Not even just not being able to make it to stores. It's like my weekly interaction, like speaking like not one on one, but like live, I guess, face to face. But
Yeah.
with
Actually
people.
talking to people.
Yeah. I mean, I interact with folks a lot online. Like I'm very like active in the community, but it's nice to just talk with friends about Flesh and Blood. And making it to events is like few and far between. I'm like notorious. Like I don't have time for that, man. Like I have a bunch of local game stores who are like, hey, come to our event. We're doing like a special thing, or we come to this. And I'm like, I wish I could. Like every LGS is like at least 30 to 40 minute drive away from me. So it's like it's like a day commitment. And so to do that, I have to be like, okay, well, if I'm doing this, then that means I can't be working on a video for the day, which means I'm like down and I might miss a video or have to work extra hard on another day or something. So it's like, because I try to stay like consistent with it, at least like 3 videos a week, and I do the stream. So yeah.
But yeah, I mean, all these things, like you're saying, that obviously you can't get to events and stuff, is just more positives for podcast space because people can listen to it if they don't have time for whatever reason. They can go about their day to day and listen to podcasts, which is why it's, and one of the reasons I expect why we've shot up so quickly is because we are just 3 people talking about Fab in a more sort of relaxed way. So thanks for everyone that's listened so far. It's been a good journey, and we're only getting started as well.
I mean, yeah, we are, and we already talked about like guests and stuff. But like my idea with the guests is I want the guests. I think we've only gotten folks who have worked at LSS so far, and I would like to get a lot more folks from LSS because I think it's a great perspective into certain aspects of Flesh and Blood, which is like something that not a lot of other folks see or talk about. Like. We got Alan Hale, for example, to talk about organized play. Like that's not something that you see in the Flesh and Blood space like at all. So yeah, I just want to be able to bring value and interesting or fun conversations for folks.
Definitely.
That's kind of the idea. And maybe we'll talk about decks that we're running and having good luck with, or maybe we'll talk about the meta here and there, but. I don't know if we'll ever have like a level up episode, how you can be better at playing professional Flesh and Blood. That's probably not something we'll be doing anytime soon.
Absolute ratios and stuff. Nah.
Somebody would have to tell me how to get better first before I could tell other people how to get better.
That's right.
Although I was thinking today, the last event I went to was, I don't know, probably a month ago at this point, but it was the Blitz like pre-release event for Dynasty. And I was playing Aggro Prism, and I did the thing that I'm pretty sure the deck is very consistent at doing, which is winning the first round and then losing every other game. Knocking somebody into the loser's bracket and then just falling flat on my face.
Damn.
So yeah, I don't know. Like that's my experience thus far, or at least recently with events. I mean, it is still fun, especially when I get to like double fractal replication somebody. That always gives me life.
I always make the pre-releases. That's one thing for me. Like I always make sure to do the pre-release because for me the pre-release is like the most concentrated amount of fun that you can have in an event because it's like new cards like before you can actually purchase them, and it's like new mechanics, and not everyone knows exactly what they're doing. Like the draft structure or sealed structure isn't like defined. Everyone hasn't listened to all of the other podcasts telling them to build this draft deck over and over again or
Force 5.
Yeah. So it's like a lot of fun because you can experiment and other people are experimenting as well.
Yeah,
That's a good thing about draft and sealed is everyone's on the same sort of starting foot, aren't they? Rather than CC or constructed formats, you're playing with the cards you're given, which is
and very selfishly, I'm quite good at these kind of formats and limited in
Yeah.
particular. And I'm really like I have not to humble brag, but I think I can evaluate cards decently enough where at pre-releases I've consistently made it to finals, like top 2. I'd like the last couple.
You go there to spike events then, basically.
No, I actually have not won. I always get like second place. I have not won. I'm basically Tan and Grace.
It's like, oh no, Kel's here for the pre-release.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had actually, when I first started doing drafts, it was like, it was still pretty early on in the development of our local scene. And I don't know if it was just because I was lucky or that the other people just like maybe weren't as familiar with the game yet or anything. But the first 2 drafts I did, it was a Welcome to Wraith draft and an Arcane Rising draft. And in the Arcane Rising draft, I played Dash, and unfortunately, I didn't get Induction Chamber. Which, if you get by anybody who's listening, if you ever get the chance to play Arcane Rising draft, if you pull an Induction Chamber, you have likely won the draft already.
Yeah,
the card is nuts.
Dash is a little good.
Yeah,
it's everything has like go again basically, and she just crundles on in for just a crap loads of damage for minimal effort.
Her cards are just really, really efficient. And like I was able to, in the games where I was going second, I was able to use Dissipation Field as basically just like a free block for. So that was kind of nice. But yeah, I went undefeated in that one. I think that one was actually my first one. And then the one after that was Welcome to Wraith, and I played Reynar. Also went undefeated in that one. And then every other draft or sealed event, I've gone like X3.
Yeah.
I should have quit while I was ahead and just been undefeated in limited formats.
I found that Bravo and Reyna are both like exceedingly powerful in WTR Limited, and those are 2 heroes that I don't normally play in like constructed. But the last couple events that I've done, I've ended up going with Reynar. Also because for whatever reason in both of those events, I got passed or opened Blood Rush Bellow, and I'm like, I guess I'm just gonna play Reynar and kill people. And I did. I played Reynar and killed. Oh, one of them I also got an Easter egg. I got Easter egg and Blood Rush Bellow. So maybe that's a little bit. Maybe that factors a little bit into my success. But like having like pretty.
Kel's like, I'm really good at evaluating cards, and I'm good at limited formats because I just pull good cards.
Hey, I will say at pre-releases my pulls are pretty terrible. Like I don't normally get good pulls at pre-releases except for the Uprising World Premiere event. That was in Vegas. I had pretty good pulls. I had played Icelander and I pulled the Coronet Peak, pulled the Coldfoil Coronet Peak. And I ended up going like, I've only lost twice. It was like I went 7-2 or 5-2 or whatever it is, and I got a bunch of tickets and stuff, which was fun. I only lost to 2 people, and they were also on Icelander. The first person was Yuki Lee Bender, and then the other person was, I forgot her name, but she was like a Pro Tour competitor as well. Both very, very skilled people, and they're really close. And they both had Arcane Barrier, and I did not have Arcane Barrier. Like Yuki had Alluvian Constellus, the legendary chess piece, and then the other person had the robe, I think, that gives you like Arcane Barrier.
Oh yeah, and the one that I think you can pop it for a resource on your opponent's turn.
Yeah, and turns out in the Icelander mirror match, it can be a little tough if you do not have Arcane Barrier yourself. I had Quell, which helped a little bit, but not as much as I would like. But still, good.
Yeah, I feel like if you're taking a loss to anybody, taking a loss to Yuki Lee Bender is just like, well, everybody knew this was gonna happen. It's just so freaking good.
It was a good game, and it came down to like one turn. Like, if she didn't kill me, I would have killed her. Like, I think what happened was like, it was my turn, and I had lethal, like on the stack, and then she responded and killed me. I think that it was something like that. It was super close. Yeah, and I had no Arcane Barrier at that point, so I was just like, or I had no Quell or anything, so I was just like, I'm dead.
Just dead on board.
I don't have Oasis Respite, so I'm dead.
Yeah. Speaking of cards that were crazy, Oasis Respite overperformed when I was in doing Uprising pre-release. Card is just crazy.
Probably like one of the best cards from the set. Like no joke. Like this little common card.
Very good against Arachne now as well.
Oh
Arachne
man,
doesn't like seeing that.
oh man, that stupid card.
Yeah.
And that
actually getting blown out.
that last UPF game, like sandbagging that shred in the arsenal, and it just kept getting Oasis Respited, like multiple times. Like it's heartbreaking.
Something I actually want to do. I do want to ask because I just off the top of my head, I don't recall the last time you have ever talked about it, or if I've asked. But what's the local scene like for you? Like, do you go out to local events frequently?
Not enough as I would like. So the most local game store near me is one called Mystic Games, which is in a different county to where I am. I still don't drive at the moment, so I can't get there easily. So to get there, it was like a train and then a bus. So it's a bit of a pain in the ass to get there. But that being said, as well as this as well, the armory events are normally after work. So if you work a 9 to 5 job or any sort of office-based role, which is what I do, I work in property. You have to then get to the event afterwards. If you don't drive, it's hard to get there logistically. So I've got a day off on a Monday, which is when they do their armory nights, coming in a few weeks. I am going down there to do the shitty Xmas present promos. Hopefully, get one of those play mats. We'll see.
Yeah, just bribe whoever wins it. Be like,
exactly.
Well, no, all you have to say is, "Hey, I'm the leader of the Azalea cult."
Exactly. Yeah,
she's front and center.
Yeah, a people's champ. I think they're people's champion playmats as well, aren't they? They're just raffled off or given to whoever is deemed worthy on the day, sort of thing. So I know a few people that go to that armory every week. So if they get it, then I might be able to swindle it somehow.
My secret and selfish hope is that as a content creator, LSS just sends us them, because they have sent us Christmas stuff in the past. We got a Christmas, we got a Christmas playmat last year. It was This Round's on Me, and then the year before that, we also got a Christmas playmat, and they also gave each content creator like a specific gift tailored to them, which was really, really kind. Like
I was a nobody back then, so I wasn't included, obviously.
I think it might have been even before you. When did you start playing as?
Before Monarch. So when was that? A year and a half ago?
Yeah, so maybe? Like the first year they gave, so it was 2020. They gave everyone a special tailored gift. So like mine was, since at the time I played a lot of Viserai, they gave me a cold foil adult Viserai, and then the Viserai playmat for Arcane Rising. I think it was Arknight Ascendancy. It might have been the pre-release mat, but since pre-releases didn't happen because of COVID, like they're super hard to get. And at the time, the cold foil Viserai I think was like one of the only 2 known in the world, because I had one, and then the artist Steve Argyle had one, and they hadn't given any out at the point, so it was worth like a lot. They gave me like something that was worth well over $1,000. So I was like, ooh.
But it looks really nice as well, doesn't it? The cold foil. Is it adult as well?
Yeah, it's an adult. I have it back here. I got it signed by Steve Argyle, so I thoroughly damaged the card to make it better, to make it better. But yeah, I mean, like, yeah. So
it's something you're going to keep anyway, isn't it? It's not like you're going to sell it on. You just you're going to keep anyway. So
that's
exactly
worth more to me, like in sentimental value, than X thousands of dollars. It's probably worth less than $1,000 these days. But still, my point is that LSS is awesome, and they're very kind, and they used to do holiday gifts. I don't know if they're still going to do it this year. But if they do, I selfishly want a shitty Christmas present.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I'll be honest, a little selfish. If hey, it's fine if they don't do that. I will try to buy one somehow, because I want to play with that card in UPF.
Yeah, no, it's a fun one, isn't it?
I think that's just like an auto include for our UPF shenanigans now. It's like it's going to be Go Bananas, Goranian Tome. If you can fit it into your deck, any of the Promise of Plenty.
I run This Round's on Me. I run This Round's on Me on almost all of them. I run Coax of Commotion in most of them, not all of them, but most of them. And I also put in the Fableds, the Eye and the Heart, just because I can. Like, I don't even care if it fits in the deck. I just put it in just because I can.
Yeah, I need to do that more. I think I need to stop playing with my actual Azalea Blitz deck and just play with crap instead.
Yeah, just make crap, man.
Obviously, that I've got the Go Bananas now as well, haven't I? So I can chuck that in there.
Hell yeah,
Buy a box.
It's
The next one's in a few weeks, right?
yeah.
We
Should be able to get a box for
we
that.
kind of in a way, when we gifted you that Go Bananas, we did kind of curse you as well.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
now
you
if
have
you
to buy
want to
boxes.
play the card, you need to buy boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah,
Just get like history pack 1 or something that has like a crap load of packs in it, and
that's what I'm thinking.
yeah, and then just have
Yeah.
it be your Go Bananas box. Like, you don't open it up for any
Yeah.
other reason, just pull packs for Go Bananas. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then
I did enjoy opening that as well. I did enjoy opening the history pack. I think the card
Yeah.
quality is really good in there as well. To be honest.
Yeah, I mean I think the coloring is very like vibrant. It's got very nice nice inking, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it's like the white border as well. The white border, when they contrast against like the Pitts borders, like the Ranger, like Red and the Ledger and stuff, the Pitts borders, some of the contrast looks quite nice. Like Viserais cards look quite nice as well. So if you've got the white border on a darker card, it pops quite nice. So I do like it.
I will say I've noticed for the 3 German cards that I have, there is a little bit of quality issues for those, because I have 3 German Enlightened Strikes. One of them I literally opened myself, and you can tell on the border on the bottom left side that the printing wasn't 100% because there's a little bit of like faint green on the border where it's supposed to be brown, and I thought it was a print error when I was looking at it. And I was like, oh, look at my other ones. And both of my other German E-strikes had that same thing. So I'm like...
Nobody sneezed on it, did they? Sneeze on it?
Here, let me try if I can... I have
green
my
on there.
decks. I have the decks here.
As an aside, I always love hearing updates where Kel is like, "Oh yeah, I have 1,800 Enlightened Strikes."
Okay, so
I had like he's like, I have like 5 alpha ones. I had like 18 regulars, and now I have 3 German ones.
I managed to procure 69 of those at the weekend.
I only have
These are all
3. I only have 3 alpha ones. Thank you very much. And 3 foils, and then like 2 white borders, the 3 German ones, and a couple like regular other ones. I have 3 less. Az has 3 of mine now. So
I do. Yeah.
It's
It could just be a long-term loan.
No, do yours, man.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I only own 3. I have 3 unlimited foils that I lent to a local player because he was playing Fi in, it wasn't Worlds, it was something else. Another big event though, where they had to go somewhere. I can't remember which one it was. But anyway, so I lent him my Enlightened Strikes, and he's only able to show up to local events on Sundays. And normally the events that I go to are on Mondays. And we just like haven't seen each other since I lent them to him. I'm not like pressed about it, like whatever, I don't really care. But it's just funny because I was trying to put together some decks for one of my buddies from high school. Actually, like randomly joined the local Winnipeg Flesh and Blood Discord that I created.
Nice.
And so I poked him and I was like, "Hey, are you like, you thought you could sneak into this server without me knowing, hey?" And he was like, "Yeah, like I just found this game," kind of chatted about it for a bit, and then he was like, "Do you recommend Dorinthia or Lexi?" And I was like, "Well, both are pretty good, but Dorinthia is probably better if you don't want to pay a bunch of money up front, because like New Horizons is pretty important for Lexi." And he's like, "Well, if I like it, it's not really an issue." But I was like, "Well, I have like a fully powered up Lexi deck that I could make for you, and you could try it out." And he was like, "Yeah, cool." So I was making that and then trying to make myself a different deck. And I was like, I don't have enough cards for the overlap here, where it's like,
oh yeah.
One of the decks I wanted to play needed 3 Enlightened Strikes. I'm like, okay, I don't have those. The Lexi deck was running Command and Conquers, and I was like, well, I can't play Brute because Brute needs Command and Conquers.
Yeah.
I only have 3.
It's a bit of a pain having to shift it all around, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some days I just wish I was Cal.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is I also have opened up just an absolutely absurd number of Flesh and Blood boxes over. Like, I have not bought. Well, that's not true. I did buy the Alpha E-Strikes. This is like before Crew even came out, and I was just really, I mean, I'm still into Flesh and Blood. It's literally my favorite game. But I was like, you know, I love this game, and I have a feeling that years down the road, if I don't buy these Alpha Easter eggs right now, I'm going to regret it. And then I bought the Alpha Easter eggs. I bought Cold Foil Snapdragon Scalers, Cold Foil Mage Master boots, and then I made sure to have Alpha Toma Fiendel, First Edition Command and Conquers, and First Edition Art of Wars. Those are the cards that I was like, years down the road, if I don't get these now, I'm going to regret it. And turns out I did not regret it. So I got them all. I do not regret having them because, you know, I love this game, and I was like, you know, it's one of those situations where a lot of people thought about this for early Flesh and Blood 2. They were like, they attribute it to Magic. And one of the things for me for Magic is, like, I played Magic when I was like a kid. I was like 5 years old. I played Magic in 1995. I was 8. And I just got packs that my parents bought, or rather my dad bought specifically, because we'd go to the hobby store, and like he'd look at the model trains and he'd buy my brother and I packs, but it had to be the cheapest packs. So we always got Fallen Empires. So I have a lot of Fallen Empires. And as I got older, I was like, man, I wish I had the foresight to like try to get like, you know, beta or alpha or unlimited, even just like packs where you can open up cool stuff. Instead, I just have a lot of Fallen Empires. And so a lot of that transferred over to Flesh and Blood, where I'm like, hey, I love this game. I have this opportunity to get like these first edition cards. So I'm going to do it. And yeah, by the way, I pulled out my German Easter eggs. They definitely do. They have this weird green thing along the side here. It's like a green line. I don't know. I wonder if that's true for like all of the other foreign black border ones, or if it's just the German print. You can't see on this camera. I could show it once I could show off on my proper DSLR, but yeah, it's weird. I thought it was like an error, but it's like that for all of them. And I know they're not fake because I literally opened up one from a pack. Like, so.
Was that from White Rabbit? Was it?
Yeah,
when we did the thing.
Yeah, all three of them are from him. So
I think that video will be. I think that video will be up soon as well. So yeah, White Rabbit Community Game Store. I think the first one is up on his channel, so I think we'll be appearing on there soon, opening that Arcane Rising box.
Sweet, you should definitely check that out. Speaking of having like copious amounts of cards, the last 2 days I've spent, and I don't know if you guys do this too, but I end up building a lot of decks. And I don't update most of them. A lot of times they're for deck tech videos or just for a random UPF game or whatever. And I just don't take them apart. And I'll get to the point where I have just a shitload of decks. And so I got to the point yesterday, you know, I was like, okay, Dynasty came out. I need to take apart all the decks and just kind of like reset. And it took me forever. I had like so many decks to take apart and de-sleeve. And then I put all of my Uprising and Dynasty cards, which just were in stacks, like of Majestics and foil equipment and cold foils, just stacks. Finally sorted them all into my binders. I literally used up all of the space in the binders. I need to buy a new binder. But
one of those situations where you're in the moment, you're like, this will be future Kel's problem, and then future Kel is like, damn, you passed Kel.
Yep. Like that's what I did yesterday, basically. Instead of videos or whatever, I just did that, and it took a long time. But the end result is that I now only have 4 decks. I have 4 like real format decks. I have a Clash deck, and I have literally a box that has like 11 commoner decks in it. It's one of those KMC card barrier boxes, if you know what that is. It's like this plastic thing that you just cram a bunch of stuff in. But I have my 4 decks, and then I have everything else in the binders. And it turns out, I have a disgusting amount of Art of Wars. Like Art of War is the card that I have a lot of, because I have a full binder page of 9 Art of Wars in there. And then also I'm using them in these decks as well. So I have probably like 15 or something Art of Wars. Like I have 9 in there. And then I have 2 in my Lexi deck, 2 foil ones in my Arachne deck. I guess it's only 13 then. I only have 13. Sorry,
Only
not,
a
not,
13.
not
Yeah.
15.
Only.
Just the 4. Because the other decks that I have are Dromai, which doesn't run Art of War, and then Emperor, which obviously can't run Art of War.
Yeah.
But
Unless you house rule it that he can, like we did earlier. Well,
that would be good.
I think it's very interesting that you have like print error enlightened strikes. Obviously they're not uncommon though, because you have 3 of the same print error. But I actually have a couple. I showed these off when we were doing the box opening stream. But I have 2 cards specifically from Everfest that are like super unassuming, and I have them in my fancy card binder. I won't be able to actually show it on camera, but like Emeritus Scolding and High Roller specifically have like this blue. You can kind of see it on the High Roller, where the closest edge here is like extra blue for some reason.
okay.
So I have 2 of the High Roller and 3 of the Scolding. I also have a crimped red Fate Foreseen, which was cool, and I pulled that myself from a pack. And then also this barcode card that I pulled from a box of Arc as well.
The Data Doll specialization.
Yeah.
That's
I actually I took it to a store and scanned it, and it actually came up as a box of double stuffed Oreos.
Really?
No, that's a. Elliot has a bunch of tattoos, and one of the tattoos that he got on his ankle is the barcode for a thing of double stuffed Oreos.
Oh, jeez.
Whenever I think of that,
great idea.
Yeah.
You could get a QR code that you scan and takes you to your YouTube channel. That's a great idea.
Just like square on your forehead.
Yeah. Like scan me. Go and subscribe. Yeah.
Anytime anybody tries to take a picture of you, their camera will be like, "Okay, go to this website."
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the way forward. Yeah. we'll all have chips soon anyway, where you can do that anyway. You just literally just hover over your camera and it takes you to the person's site. Shows the address and geolocations and what have you.
I can now only think of like some super edgy person who's like, yeah, the QR code on my forehead crashes uploads a virus into any device that scans it. Yeah. So I get it over the government surveillance every time they scan my forehead. Crash.
Exactly. Yeah. Trojan horse. Yeah.
Oh jeez. I don't know why that came to mind, but that's immediately what came to mind.
Yeah. Too much cyberpunk dreams.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk was actually I enjoyed Cyberpunk when I played it because slight tangent just because we talked about Cyberpunk. I've been playing the new Pokemon game.
Oh, yeah.
And it's actually really good. There are like merits to the complaints that people are having where it's like the performance is bad.
I just realized I know why you brought it up in relation to Cyberpunk.
Yeah. So, like the performance is like chunky at times. The graphics aren't fantastic because the like textures don't load in properly or they're super low res. Characters in the background after a certain distance like get their frame rate reduced on their animations. So if you're like in a city and you see somebody down the street, they're walking at like 3 frames per second. But like outside of that, it was a really good game. I had the same thoughts actually about Cyberpunk because I played through the whole game and I liked it. There was unfortunately a bug for that one. I haven't experienced any crazy bugs with Pokemon, but specifically with Cyberpunk, there was a bug where there was like this mission where I had to like sneak into a factory, and the way that I tried to do it was you could either like sort of strong arm your way through the gate, or you could take over one of the delivery trucks that worked for this factory and you could like make your way through. And you know, you could at least get yourself in at least a little bit inconspicuously. For whatever reason, there was a glitch that made it so that the gate wouldn't open if you were in the truck. So I was like, so this just isn't an option. And like you had to make the decision because it like you made the decision and then either you got placed like right outside the factory or you got placed in the truck and then you drove up to the factory. So because I had already made the decision and there wasn't a save from previously, I had to restart my game.
Oh
no.
Like there's another game breaking bug in Cyberpunk that I heard. It didn't happen to me, but I heard about it like when the game first came out. It's that one of the later missions. It's you're trying to rescue some folks from like a maelstrom party building or whatever, and you can be diplomatic or whatever. But the bug is basically that one of the key NPCs like doesn't show up. Like they're just not there, but they should be there, but they're not there. And it's a critical mission, like it's a story mission, so you have to do it. And if the NPC's not there, then you literally just can't do it. And like it's one of those bugs where like you have no agency. It's just like if it happens, tough luck. Guess you can't beat the game.
Yeah, not like you can force spawn an NPC. So
I mean, like maybe if you're on PC or something like that. But if you're playing on like PS4, I mean, first of all, if you're playing on PS4, Godspeed.
Yeah,
I did play on PS4 and it was rough. It was rough. I will say,
Wow.
I will note, they did a bunch of updates and whatnot, and the PS5 version that I played on recently is like really good. Like the game looks great, it runs great. Yeah, it's really really good on PS5 right now. Specifically, right now it's good. But
I've heard that, and the same thing with No Man's Sky. That games that kind of were critically flops when they came out, but have actually like since been taken care of by the developer and have become like a good game. After some time.
Yeah, that's the thing with video games. I think we briefly spoke to Brian about this in the last podcast, but it's about, obviously the video games being released in a state that is just not great and then just having to patch it and, heal it over time rather than releasing a finished product straight away. With card games, that product comes out straight away as is. You can't do that.
Yeah. It's much more difficult with physical card games for sure.
Yeah, exactly. But No Man's Sky, I would have, because I play, so I used to play a little like a side-scrolling pixelated sort of Terraria Minecraft style game called Starbound, which is basically No Man's Sky is basically Starbound but in the 3D environment where you go to different planets, you can make bases and mine for resources and all that sort of thing. So I could easily get lost in a galaxy trotting open world game. But the amount of bugs and stuff that were coming out at the time was just ridiculous. But yeah, I probably would love to revisit that. I know we're pure Arsenal stepping right now. The video game speak. But yeah, I'd love to revisit that at some stage. But you just get lost in these games, and as you get older, it's hard to dedicate that much time when you get lost in the universe.
It's hard or a mistake. Basically, it's either difficult or it's like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Fortunately,
it's either difficult to do it or way too easy to waste too much time.
Yeah,
that's it exactly.
This year, I spent the most time on Elden Ring to the surprise of almost no one. I spent like 200 hours, maybe ish, on Elden Ring. And I played some other games recently. I'm working my way through God of War Ragnarok. It is a very long game. Holy freaking hell, man. It is super. I played for like 20 hours and I'm like barely into it at all. And then there's I just finished Kena Bridge of Spirits, which is a PlayStation exclusive, I think, or maybe it came out on PC. Gorgeous game. Absolutely beautiful game. It looks like it was done by like Pixar or DreamWorks. The animations are fantastic. The environments are beautiful. It's like, imagine like a Miyazaki film, but made by like DreamWorks or Pixar.
Like a Western animation company.
Yeah, but it has the vibe of like a Miyazaki kind of thing. Like there's like forest spirits, and I mean it's called Kena Bridge of Spirits. It's about spirits. It's a little depressing. It's for looking like so cutesy. It's a very like heavy, and the combat is like, it's hard, man. It's way harder than it has any right to be. Like on normal difficulty, I think I died more in Kena than Elden Ring. Like I'm not even kidding.
Wow.
Partially because Elden Ring I played all the Souls games. I platinumed almost all of them.
So the muscle memory's there, isn't it? Still,
I just have it. But
yeah,
Kena's like that. Like it has the same It's a third-person action game. So you have the combat, heavy attacks, light attacks. There's no stamina system. But like, man, enemies hit you really hard, and you can die with a couple hits. But it was a great game. Highly recommended. Also, it's like a little it's an indie game. It's only like $30 or $40. It's really good. So I recommend Kena a lot. It's a beautiful game. The voice acting.
I'm just looking on PlayStation Network now. It says for the standards edition it's £32. So $30 or so. But then there's a digital version as well, which is only £20 at the moment because I imagine it's some sort of Black Friday deal. So that's quite good for digital.
Pretty inexpensive and very, very good. And it's like long-ish, not super long, maybe like 10 hours or something. But it's lovely. It's very lovely. I highly recommend it.
Yeah. I've basically just been playing Pokemon and Legends of Runeterra. Specifically, still Path of Champions. It's still so good.
Okay. That reminds me. I recently got. I don't play a lot of phone games. Runeterra being one of the ones that I play on my phone. But one of my favorite streamers played a game that's been out for a couple of years now. But it's a little indie game. It's on the Google store. You can download it for free, or you can pay $7 to unlock the full thing. But the free version's fine too. It's called Slice and Dice, and it's a dice-based RPG where it's hard to describe it. It's just like you have some enemies and you roll some dice, and you see what your attacks do, and you can see what they do. Either way, I've been addicted to it. I play it every night before going to bed. It's so much fun. It has like pixel art, like little pixel art. You have a random team of heroes, and then you can like level them up as you go on. You can get little pieces of equipment. It's very simple. Yeah, slice and dice. Yeah, that's it.
Roguelike. Roguelike, I'm sold already.
Yeah, it's so much fun. There's a.
I'm gonna download that.
Yeah.
Yep. Same.
The base version, I think you can complete up to level 20 or level 12, but the full version you can go up to stage 20. There's multiple difficulties. There's a lot of unlockables. The full version is only $7. It's really good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I think it's the only time I've actually spent money on a mobile game in like the last 2 years, because I play like Runeterra completely for free. Shadowverse I play completely for free. But
highly rated as well.
Slice and Dice,
very highly rated. Yeah.
The only criticism I have about the game is that there's no music at all. It's just like sound effects. For whatever reason, there's no music. Maybe they couldn't license any. I don't know. But
probably an expensive process for a small game as well to do music.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I mean, I know a lot of like royalty-free music, but I don't know if you're able to use it in games because you're selling it. Maybe you can only use it for YouTube content because you're not. I don't know. I don't know the legality of it. But Slice and Dice, a lot of fun.
Okay. Every so often, I don't really game on my phone that much because I have a computer, I have consoles and whatever. But every so often, like once every 6 months or something, I'll come across a game just randomly on the App Store, and I'll just be like, I'll give this a try, and then I get like fully addicted to it for like 3 solid months.
Yeah.
And they're never like good games. They're never anything good. Like right now, there's actually one that I've been playing. I think I'm maybe already done with it. It's been like 3 days, but I think I'm already done with it. It's this random, really crappy looking game called Survivor.io. And it's like a bullet hell roguelike sort of thing. But it's a very typical, like I think I literally found it from an ad on TikTok. Like that's the quality of game we're talking about.
Look at this bad boy. There it is. Look.
Yeah, that one.
It's got a 4.7.
It's solidly fine, except there are like builds that you can do that are so good that literally all you have to do to complete a stage. Each stage takes 15 minutes, like 15 real world minutes. And bosses spawn at certain minute intervals. So once you get to a certain point where you get the right upgrades for your skills and whatever, there are setups that you can do where you literally just like don't even have to touch your phone for the remainder of the entire level. Because everything within a radius of you just dies immediately. It's like cool.
My favorite mobile games are a lot of card games. So I have like Shadowverse, Hearthstone, Legends of Runeterra installed. And then games like Slice and Dice, but also randomly all of the Professor Layton games are on the App Store. And I don't know if you know what Professor Layton is. It's a game series that was formerly on Nintendo consoles, like handheld, so like Game Boy, that kind of stuff. And they're like puzzle games. They're just and they're very British.
Okay.
They're very like the characters are British. And it has like lovely music. Professor Layton games are so good. Shout out to people out there who know what Professor Layton games are.
Okay.
They cost money.
Interested in Professor Layton,
they're not free.
but
they're really good on mobile. I have a couple of them, and they're just ones where I just like, I just want a good game on my phone. I want just a good game, and I came across it. I'm like, I'll pay for one. In fact, I'd prefer to pay for a game that's good than playing some free crap that just shovels ads in my face. Just I'll pay $10.
Survivor.io.
Yeah. I will say two things about Slice and Dice that maybe will sell people on it if they haven't played it yet. One, there's no ads, so even on the free version, they're not going to shovel ads in your face. And two, it's a good what I like to call it's a good pooping game. So you can play it while you're pooping, and then be done.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. The game itself auto saves after every round, so you can just like close the game and then come back and then play later.
Just wipe and then go downstairs.
You're good to go.
Yeah.
So
and then you're on your merry way.
Yeah. So for those of you who work a 9 to 5 and you want to take a little poop break and play a game
on company time.
On company time, there you go. Yeah. Hey, that's one of the biggest joys in life. Getting paid to take a dump on the company dime. That's one of the biggest joys in life.
Well, how's that phrase go? Boss makes $1, I make a dime. That's why I poop on company time.
Yeah,
exactly.
Oh, that's brilliant. Never heard that before. That's good.
Pro tip though, you got to be careful though. They'll get suspicious. They'll get sus. You have to be careful. You have to do normal poops, right? You have to do your normally scheduled bowel movements, but
Yeah, and if they follow you on sort of social media and Twitter and stuff, you can't sort of post like I'm on the shitter playing this.
Don't do that.
They'll pull you aside into the office and be like, "What are you doing? Why are you playing Slice and Dice on the pooer for? Come on."
And then you should be like,
boss is just going to be like, "Hey, what did you mean by this?"
Yeah, Slice and Dice. Are you okay? Yeah.
Anyway,
we should probably wind it down to a close. There is one last thing that I just personally want to ask Kel, Az, because you were the one that got addicted to Dead Cells, at least for a little bit there. Have you still been playing it, or did you get to the King's Hand and die a million times, and then that's where I got?
Yeah, so I still haven't. I've got there once to the King's Hand, and I died. And that is morale shattering. Because you get there like
it's so hard to get there.
It's so hard to get there. Like 1 in 40, 1 in 50 runs, you'll get there. At least in my skill level, at least. And then you get there, and then he's smashing you into the wall. You can't avoid it, and you just die. And I think you need to take early on. I think you need to take the extra life just for that battle. You need to take the extra life just for that battle, because I think you can survive well enough if you're a good enough player up until that battle, but then you need that extra life. So when he does kill you, you come back for that extra wind. I think is important. But I don't know how much the buffs really make a difference if you're good with certain weapons or what have you, or you got a certain play style. I like freezing mechanics. I like freezing things. So one of my favorite things to do.
I liked the there's that like heavy crossbow that you can get that allows you to like mark an enemy and then shoot like an exploding bolt or something like that. One was really fun. But I basically did the same as you. I got to the King's Hand, I think maybe a grand total of 3 times and lost every time.
Yeah, it's hard. It's really hard.
Just a difficult game, but still really good. Anyway,
it is amazing.
Yeah, so that was the last thing I wanted to touch on. So yeah, I think that will just about do it for this very constructed and well thought out episode of the podcast. Again, we just kind of wanted to have some fun and just chat.
I do want to mention one more thing, and it has to do with Az. I don't think we mentioned it properly last time, but I want to congratulate Az for hitting 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, dude. So congratulations. Az did it. 1K before the end of the year. Let's go, man.
Yeah, that was good.
Do you have Do you have any like? I know for you it's just like a fun hobby, but do you have any like content creation goals for 2023?
So there's going to be obviously aside from the stuff that's normally on there, there's going to be two new series on there. So one of them's going to be it's called a Cup of Clash, which is basically going to be an ongoing Clash series with another smaller UK based creator. So it would be nice because obviously UK time, not having to schedule it,
Right.
like midnight, play games. So yeah, that's going to be an ongoing thing where I can do some gameplay stuff, and I'm also going to be doing that What's the Card series as well, which is going to be the game show thing. So yeah, next year is going to be 2 ongoing series on the channel. But yeah.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I don't want to cut you off.
I was going to say, yeah, it's just a nice milestone to hit, really. So I'm glad we got there towards the end of the year.
Yeah, man. It's well deserved. And also, if I'm on What's the Card, I only ask that I don't get matched up against DM Armada or Dead Summer Art, because
Dead Summer is
because I think
that's a losing battle.
I think I'd be very good at it, except against those 2 people. I think those
Yeah, maybe there'll be a special episode where it's just like everybody takes on Dead Summer because he knows everything. So it'll be like a team game apart from there's 2 against 1 essentially because there's going to be 3 contestants.
Well, like also, actually, now that I think of it, a lot of the other casters would be really hard to go against as well. Because like one of the key skills of being a caster, other than just being able to talk and knowing like the meta or whatever, is being able to recognize the cards by like their art, because there's no way in hell you can read that card when you're staring at the screen in the coverage booth.
Yeah.
And sometimes like you only see like a little portion of the art too, because you'll see a little bit of their hand and you're trying to guess what the hell it's in their hand. And so like I think any of the casters, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, you're literally going from that perspective. If you're looking at a screen, you're literally going by a little tiny piece of colors. That's all you can see. It just colors basically. So having that knowledge is going to be imperative to the so everyone's going to have to brush up on their general knowledge for What's the Card. That's for sure.
The casters, we literally, to pull back the curtains a little bit, we are literally watching the live stream and commenting over the live stream. Like, that's how it works. We are staring at the live stream at a big TV, commenting over it, and so we are seeing what everyone else is seeing. It's not like we see like extra cameras or whatever. Like we are literally seeing what everyone else sees. So it's like sometimes the quality is not great, and it's like we're like, and they're playing and it looks like they have an ice bolt in hand. What color is the ice bolt? Is it blue or is it red? Like we can't tell. Like it can't tell. That's why sometimes you'll hear the caster be like, I think that's a red ice bolt, and then someone will be like, oh, actually it's a blue one.
Oh,
like,
no, it's a
yeah. So
but yeah, just tacking onto that a little bit, because it's going to be one fun series on the channel, which again is not really related to meta or anything. But it's not just going to be art. So it's also going to be identify the card from the mechanics from the text box. Also identify the card from the lore text or the flavor text. So there's going to be different ones that aren't going to be as easy. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of ones that aren't easy.
Like, I'm super confident at the art and at the ability, but at the flavor text, I'm like, oh, I don't know, man. I'm gonna get wrecked.
So yeah, there's going to be a few different ones on there, and then also I'm going to be doing more trips to local game stores as well to do little videos with them. So they've got a video I'm editing right now with because Ziggy came to the UK recently. He's from a little country in Brunei, which is Southeast Asia. So he was over for the week or so. I met him in London, and we did a little tour around London. So there's going to be a little vlog thing out soon. Yeah, it's going to be doing more of that as well.
I kind of want to do. It's been on the back of my mind. I have no plans to do it at all, but I've wanted to do a quiz show for a while because I like quiz shows.
Yeah,
like a panel, like a. I think there's like a lot of British panel shows.
Yeah.
that you could take a lot of inspiration from. That could be really fun.
Yeah, game shows in general are just a very British thing. I think. Well, there's a few American ones as well, but yeah, I think it's a nice
I
nice medium.
love QI.
Yeah,
QI is a fantastic show, and Game Master. Those are like two of my favorite sort of game shows, or like panel whatever, that are just so unbelievably British.
Is it called? I think Robin watches Taskmaster.
Sorry, yes, that's what I was thinking.
Taskmaster.
Mm.
Yeah, she likes Taskmaster. There's the guy. There's another one too. I don't remember, but there's a guy who always laughs a specific way, and I find it really funny.
Jimmy Carr.
He's like,
that's Jimmy Carr.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Every single British talk show clip that I see, you can tell if Jimmy Carr is there because somebody will say something, and you just hear in the background.
Yeah. I'll
brilliant.
like Robin will be like watching something on her laptop, and then I just hear that laugh, and I'm like, oh, it must be one of those things.
There it is. Yeah.
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 What was the other one? Oh, she also watches other British shows too, like the Great British Bake Off, but that's different. That's a little different.
Oh, it's a classic. Yeah, it's always on. Yeah.
Sue Perkins.
She
actually a big fan of Sue Perkins. She's funny.
There's also the guy from IT Crowd who's oh no, wait, was he from IT Crowd or was he from the other thing? Mighty Boosh. Or is he from both?
What? Noel?
Yeah.
No.
Richard Ayoade?
The goth guy.
Oh
yeah, Noel.
Yeah. I think that is. Yeah, that's Noel. I don't remember what his last name is, but
I don't either.
Yeah.
Is
he
that
from
guy's,
IT?
That guy's funny.
I think he's from IT Crowd. I think he's like the goth guy in IT Crowd.
I think so. Goth IT Crowd.
Who's like in the basement. He's like not a regular. Well, he's kind of a regular character, but not a main one.
Oh no, that guy is.
Or is that a different guy?
Well, what's his name? In the show, his name is Richmond Avenel. And who's he played by? I don't know. It doesn't say on here.
No, I'm just like.
But,
okay, yeah, it's not him. I'm not thinking of.
Yeah, I was thinking about Noel though.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, British game shows. Yeah, that is going to be taking a lot of inspiration from that. But
Noel Fielding. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Noel Fielding. That's it. Yeah, that's it. That's the one.
Anyway, let us bring this one to a close. This is a very fun episode. This was a lot of really good time. But just to, as always, as is tradition, make it official. Let's sign off. I'm going to kick it over to Kel first. Kel, would you like to tell the people where they can find you?
I just want to say stuff from Mighty Boosh now. There's every time I think of Mighty Boosh, there's always like eels up inside you. Find into places where they can. Eels. All right. Hey, everyone.
Pure nonsense.
Get those eels up inside you. Anyway, I'm Kel, Red Zone Rogue. You can find me at Red Zone Rogue everywhere. YouTube, Twitter, and other places as well. Yeah, that's about it. Go follow me for nonsense. Mostly about Flesh and Blood though, so yeah. And I guess I'll pass the baton to Az.
Sure, yeah. So I'm Az from Go Again Gaming, and you can find me on YouTube at Go Again Gaming and Twitter at Go Again Gaming AZ. And just while I'm shouting out my stuff, I want to shout out Ziggy as well. Thank you for giving me this Crown of Dominion Rainbow Fall. Nice. I didn't mention it in the actual podcast, but yeah, I just thought I'd mention that now. Cheers for that, mate. And I hope you're home safe.
Nice,
awesome.
Yeah. That's it.
And to round it off, I am Bill from the Spike Feeders. You can find me on Twitter at BillTSF, and you can also find me on our YouTube channel, Spike Feeders Fab. I finally have the gumption to make the changes to the Goliath Gauntlet that need to be made in order to make it work again. So we will very hopefully be releasing new episodes of that within the new year. I think we have plans to do a filming day. It's currently December 3rd while we're filming this. And I think the plan is December 27th is we're going to have a big filming day for the new series of the Goliath Gauntlet. So it won't be anything before the end of 2022, but 2023 will be hopefully hitting the ground running and back at it with some high quality content so that everybody can get back to enjoying it, because we do get some comments every now and then. It's like, I miss the Goliath Gauntlet. When is it coming back? Um, and we do hear you. We are making our way back onto the scene. But anyway, that will just about do it for this episode of the Living Legends podcast. Thank you both for chatting with me today. This was a really good time.
Absolutely.
Lots of just good discussion back and forth about a wide variety of topics.
Like half the podcast is about random video games or whatever.
Yeah. This was just one big Arsenal stuff. Really. Which is fine. There's nothing wrong.
It's the holidays, isn't it? So
yeah. But with that being said, thank you guys for joining me. Thank you, the listener at home and the viewer at home, for sticking with us. Thank you again for your support. We do genuinely very, very much appreciate every single one of you.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's really nice to know that, people enjoy listening to us talk. Anyway, have a great rest of your day, and we will catch you all in the next episode.
See you later, everyone.
See ya.